Susie, queen of the Brain Candy podcast and everything in between.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for introducing me.
You're
Sarah's
just looking like a beauty queen, so I figured I'd sing to you like one.
You just like me more because I'm wearing overalls.
That is so true. I can't even tell you.
Like, we really are the same person now.
Yep. I love it. I'm like, yep. They're my favorite.
That's when, like, our meshing as human became complete.
Yes.
Like, Siamese situation.
Yeah,
anyway, episode 321 already.
Whoa.
Welcome.
Oh, man.
Sarah
Good to
has
be here.
really created a high bar for today.
I know. I should have just lowbarred it and said, I got nothing. It's not that great.
Instead,
Whatevs.
she claims
Oh, man.
she has the best stories in the history of Brain Candy Podcast.
Well, okay. See, now you've got to set me up for failure. I will say that one of them, it might be one of the craziest things I've ever read. And I just can't. I mean, I got it as soon as I got through the article, but it's so crazy. And I can't wait to tell you.
Should we lead with that or work up to it?
I mean, now I feel like I just got to lead with it.
Yeah, you do.
Yes. I can't just like make you wait. I'm not a monster.
Right.
Okay. So this woman in Perth, Scotland, she's a retired nurse. She was 68 years old when she discovered that she can smell Parkinson's disease on people.
What?
Yes, Suze. And here's the craziest thing. So she's a nurse.
Gross.
She's a nurse, and she didn't know.
God.
Okay, so we can file this. The reason why I made note of this, because remember we were talking about things that you don't know you have?
Yes.
This is like the craziest one I've ever heard. So she's working as a retired nurse, she was working as a nurse, and she smelled this smell that she describes as like a oily, musky odor.
My God.
She just thought some people had it and some people didn't. But then she was working, at the hospital she worked at, she went to a Parkinson's support group, and every single person smelled like that.
Shut up.
So then she started talking about it. She was like, I think this is a thing. So somehow a researcher, or somebody in medicine contacts her, and they're like, let's do a study. We're going to study her and see if this is true. So they get different participants, and people who have Parkinson's and people who don't have Parkinson's, of course, and they get their T-shirts, and she smell tests them.
Oh, my God.
And
Stop.
there was one in the group that she got wrong. She had named it as a healthy person.
Okay.
8 months later, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Stop it.
But this is not even the craziest part of the story. The craziest part is that she smelt it on her own husband.
Oh, my God.
And 12 years later, he was diagnosed with it.
What?
12 years later.
Sarah.
I told you, it's the most insane thing. I have goosebumps everywhere. Then so they were like, oh my gosh, we've got to study her. They found out that she can detect an odor in sebum, which is like also the grossest word ever. And
Wait. What word are you saying?
Sebum, S-E-B-U-M. It's essentially like I don't know,
Chemical.
like an oil that your body produces, especially on the upper back and neck. And
Gross.
It's something that becomes overdeveloped if you have Parkinson's. Like you overproduce this stuff. And there's something in there that, like a biomarker, that she's able to smell. So because people studied her, they were able to narrow down what it was, like what chemical it was or protein or whatever it is that she's smelling. And now they have a biomarker for early Parkinson's detection.
No way.
I mean, can you even with this?
That's crazy.
Yes, her name's Joy Milne.
Did they ask Joy if she maybe can smell other things, or do you think this is just her only
It's just this. That is an
superpower?
excellent question. And in 2 of the articles I read on this, because I'm like, I need a backup article to see if this is absolutely going in the Brain Candy newsletter, because I cannot rob you of this story.
I mean, she's a true superhero. She has a superpower.
Right. So it's crazy because I was watching this TV show called OA. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
It's so freaking good. It's so good. And they were talking about like human potential and how in, I don't know, some year, like 1970 something, or I can't remember when it was, but nobody ever thought that a human could run a mile in under 4 minutes. It was like, nope, no way. There's no chance in all holy heck that the body can do this. And then somebody did it. And then the next year, nobody, like a bunch of people did it. And then soon, now it's like the college standard.
Wow, really?
Yes, I couldn't believe it either. It's like all of a sudden the thing that we thought was impossible, then like once it's in our mind that it is possible. So I wonder, like, man, if we start thinking that, or start discovering all these kind of like human superpowers, like, wait, I could smell something that I
don't
wonder
know if I want that kind of responsibility.
Well, I think it's not necessarily responsibility, but I think we'll start to discover more of this. I think people will now have their mind open to the idea that they could, that this does exist. Like, not even the people who have it, but people who could possibly be researching this.
Yeah. And I like the idea of just starting the conversation of, does this happen to you too? So that then you can know if you're unusual in some way.
Yes.
Because a lot of people just assume that they're normal because that's all they know, of course.
Yeah.
And it would be helpful if maybe she had mentioned to someone along the way that she smelled something, because other people would be like, what? I don't smell anything.
Right. Oh,
that's
my
so
God.
wild.
I know.
I want to know, I'm disturbed by the fact that 12 years before his diagnosis, she could smell it.
Yeah. And I can't remember what order it happened in, where like she smelt this on her husband, then somehow down the line she discovered that she had this. And I don't know if they detected it, but he definitely was diagnosed with it. I mean, obviously.
Right, right. That is crazy. Yeah. And how could you live with somebody for that long that smelled...
Oh, better question. Thank you. This is like when you tell me things and I'm like, well, what about this? I'm like, yes, that is a very good question that I was too distracted by the story to even consider. Disgusting.
Right. She has to live with that musty oil every damn day. And if she leaves him, she's a jerk.
Yeah, right. God.
That is awesome. I wish I had a superpower.
I know. Well, you probably do.
Yeah, we'll have to just keep asking questions till we figure out what ours is.
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of people tweeting at you and stuff about their quirks?
No, not really.
Really?
Just one girl who shared an adorable story about how she used to think that knives and forks were boys and spoons were girls, and they were both fighting for the and the forks and knives were fighting for the attention of the spoons at all times. And I was like, well, that's adorable.
That is so funny. I did get some. Let me see if I can find them. Good. Man, you guys send me a lot of stuff. So.
They definitely send us different things. I get Jeff Goldblum. Well, also you get Jeff Goldblum.
And I just get propositions.
Yeah.
Let me see. In response to your recent episode, these are my quirks. Oh, and then it said, oh, wait, it was a picture of somebody. Hold on. This is a different one. Okay, here it is. This is a good one.
Yeah.
This is from Maggie, and she said she counts every single step she takes and adds up the numbers, and she writes out the sum in a little notebook.
Oh my God.
Along with the number of steps every day. I've been doing it since I could count. And to add to the insanity, the sum has to be an even number. It gets truly exhausting.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. I was just listening to something about human compulsion and how, like, sometimes our brain, like, has to do something even though we don't want to do it.
For sure.
It is a very bizarre thing.
Yeah, it's like you're two people inside.
Yeah.
The devil and the angel kind of thing.
Oh, my God, yes.
And then she
yang,
said...
man.
She also has an irrational fear of clusters of small items, which is not that unusual. But she says that a perfect example I tell people is the seeds inside of a bell pepper.
Oh, don't even talk about it. Oh, wait, no, bell pepper. Okay, no, we're fine. I thought she had the same thing that I have, the honeycomb thing. No, I was like, seeds, I thought you were going to talk about, like, pomegranate seeds. Fuck those things.
Oh, and
like the little craters that, I can't even talk about it.
She says it truly, honestly gives me an actual physical reaction and convulsion.
That's what I'm having now.
Right.
what I'm
So we
having
can
now.
stop talking about it. I don't want to upset our listener.
Triggered!
Well, regardless, something that doesn't frighten us or upset us is Rothy's shoes.
Oh, no upset at all.
They are the best. If you follow me on Instagram, you will see them in almost every picture because they're my everyday shoes. They look so cute. They're comfortable. They're made out of recycled plastic, and you'd never know. And you can wash them in the washer.
Suze, I've been dying to tell everybody this story and waiting. I'm like, please, can we talk about Rothy's?
Talk about Rothy's.
Please. So when I did that event in Hawaii, I went on they were like, oh, we're going to come watch an obstacle. People do an obstacle course.
Oh, boy.
I was thinking this was indoors, but, whatevs. I wore my Rothy shoes, looked adorable, and turns out it's outside in the mud on, in this, military obstacle course. Who would have thought? And
Right.
and people keep asking me and I'm like, oh, no worries. These things are made out of plastic. They're totally durable. They'll be able to stay in the water. I'm fine. Everybody was like, are your shoes okay? Are you sure you're going to be okay out here? I mean, these guys are in military combat boots. I literally climbed a military rope hanging on a military obstacle course. I keep saying that. In my Rothy shoes.
Did she mention it's a military obstacle course?
Did I mention? Then I go back to the hotel, and I just soak them in the bathtub because I don't have a washing machine. Put them out on the patio to dry. Sparkly new.
That is so fun.
And you would and then I washed them when I got home. They look brand new. You would have never known. And I was like, don't worry, people. They're Rothys. They're fine.
See, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Need we say more? Check out all the amazing styles available right now at rothys.com/braincandy. Go to rothys.com, rothys.com/braincandy to get your new favorite flats, comfort, style, and sustainability. These are the shoes you've been waiting for. Head to rothys.com/braincandy today. Wow, you really sold those babies.
Well, I mean, they sell themselves. What can I say?
That's true. Well, that was a good story. You really did set us up for a good episode.
Yes.
Did you see last week when I got into a kerfuffle on Instagram with that guy who made a joke about my boobs?
No.
Okay.
Dang. You spend a couple days studying and you just miss everything.
Okay, so I posted a picture on Instagram of me with my son Lincoln, and I'm wearing a white V-neck that's form-fitting, and somebody wrote, let me see if I can find it, because then it turned into a whole scene.
Oh, I love a scene.
Okay, so he
when
wrote...
I'm not involved, let me clarify.
All right. He wrote, what you gonna do with all dem breast inside that shirt? Now, keep in mind, this is a picture of me with my 6-year-old. So I just wrote, really? And
I would have come back with I'm going to make you hurt. Make you hurt, make you hurt. Because that's the line he was using.
You really would?
Well, I don't know. Probably not.
I want to know. I want to know if, you think that's a fine thing to write under that picture.
Oh, what he wrote?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck no.
Oh.
No, I'm saying what you should have responded. Or
yeah,
the
but
other
I think
line
that
to
would
the
have
next
made
line
him
to the
think
song.
it was okay.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, okay. So
fair.
Then somebody else wrote something to the effect of, why do women wear tight shirts if they don't want people to comment on their boobs? And I just told that guy to fuck off. But the first guy...
But you can go, let's not let go of that one. Let's break that one down.
Yeah.
You can pick... If we lived in, Puritan whatever times, and I wore shorts, and I wore pants...
Yeah.
They would be like, oh, how can you even be doing that? So it's all a matter of perspective. It's all a matter of what
social norms.
It's social. Yeah. Yes. It's all a social construct. So, okay, buddy, fuck off. Sorry, Linda.
Yeah. Yeah. That guy got blocked and I told him to fuck off. But the first guy, I didn't think his comment was hurtful. It was just in bad taste.
Yeah.
And so that's why I just said really, but then he doubled down and it became a whole thing. He said, it's a Fergie lyric and a joke. Relax.
Oh, don't tell me to relax.
So I said, nothing makes me relax more than a man condescendingly demanding me to relax. DM me and we'll schedule an interview on our show.
Oh, yeah. Threaten with the interview.
So, okay. This guy then agrees to come on our show and then messages me his contact details. Mm-hmm. But then I think he started to like panic.
Yes.
And he's like saying like, don't go too hard. And he writes me this long thing. And this is not surprisingly, a white straight man.
Shocker.
Okay. Yeah.
Real
we
twist in the story.
We wouldn't even be having this. Yeah. Okay. So he goes, I am known for being funny. I am not known on a celebrity level. No shit. By any means. But I'm the funny one in my life.
Oh,
I'm
that means he's definitely not funny. First off.
I'm a 42-year-old heterosexual man, lower middle class, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why he's telling me all that.
Yeah.
And then he said...
Thank you for the 2019 census I just collected.
He says, what I'm trying to say is sometimes when you're the funny one, you say stupid stuff. So now he's mansplaining to me how this joke came to be and why it's not a problem. Blah, blah, blah. He goes on and on. Then it's all set up. We have a time and everything. And then he starts saying he wants an itinerary of what we're going to be talking about.
Oh, an itinerary. So he can prep his jokes.
And then...
I think that may have even been better.
Then he starts producing the show. He says, I was thinking we could first get the comment in poor taste on your IG post out of the way, so to speak. I'll discuss, male commenting on the internet. And then I was hoping to talk about the challenge. Current, past, favorites. You're both vets. Blah, blah, blah. Then, P.S., I'm an experienced musician and could, if requested, perform live for the podcast. I have a band.
Are we sure he's of sound mind?
No, I'm not. And then he said I'd have to let him know if I want him to perform, though, because he would be reluctant to perform without at least some backup.
Without some backup?
Sarah.
What is happening?
Sarah, I don't know.
What universe? Is this where the world all white men live in?
Yes.
Holy shit, that is brazen the word I'm thinking of?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Like, you're coming on the show so we can basically make a fool out of you.
We're going to talk about the challenge, and then I'm going to have a chance to perform some of my own lyrical stylings with a little melody in the background.
My original composition.
Yes. Oh my God. Get out of here, buddy. 42? Single? Yup.
Right, probably. Okay, so here's the thing. Part of me is furious because this is the symbolic of representative of what's going on in a larger way. However, part of me just feels pity.
Yeah, I do kind of feel pity. That we should feel sad.
I mean, how could you be that delusional?
Yeah. I
could accomplish with that confidence.
Oh, my God. This is the really fucked up part, God, that the people who should be confident are not, and the people who shouldn't are.
100%.
What the heck is that about?
It's so depressing.
I mean...
It's kind of like the thing we talked about where the more you know, the more you realize how little you know.
Oh, yeah. And maybe just like straight up life experience and stuff that you've had to endure or, just like that whole, for anybody who's not a white man, like,
and then,
and even some white women, you got to work twice as hard to get half as far, and he's like, oh, I don't even have to work
at all.
Oh God.
It's
so
super
gross.
Depressing. It is so gross.
Because I'm like in the therapy state of mind because I just did my final presentation in class.
Yes.
And one of the things that is so important about the theory that I study and the theory that I use is you have to have the self and the self of others match. So who you believe you are with who everybody else believes you are. When those things line up, like if you're hiding something, that's usually how I've always thought about it. It's like, oh, I don't want somebody to know about all this part of me, or I don't feel like I'm enough, or, you know, I don't think I could do it, but everybody else says, yes, you can, kind of thing. Like, it's a lot of times I deal with the self-doubt side. In fact, I have never dealt with the, you know, grandiosity side of it. I didn't even, I'm going to think about this in a different way now, because that goes both ways.
Right, but we're
Sometimes
not used to even thinking in those terms, because every day is such a battle.
We always think, oh my gosh, you know, I always have thought about it as, you know, I don't think I'm good enough. But then the rest of the world, you know, looks at that person and they see, yes, you're amazing, you're wonderful, you can do it. And, like, that's what I try to make match of, like, no, the rest of the world sees you as so capable. I see you as so capable, because usually it's the low self-worth and like, self-esteem that I deal with. And this is, like, literally the exact opposite.
I know. And we forget, but
this is not my
reminder. Right. We forgot about these clowns.
I'd be like, sorry, working with you is out of my scope of competency.
Expertise.
So, sorry, I'm going to have to transfer you. I'm not familiar with whatever this is.
This psychosis.
Yeah. God. So, how did it end? Tell us everything.
Okay. Basically, we're scheduled to call him and do this interview because I didn't respond to those.
Oh,
but
yeah. Good.
I'm just going to just start the interview and then be like, and also, why are you a total idiot thinking you could produce my show and tell me what we're going to talk about? And on, I think, Instagram comment, he had written, okay, but you guys can be mean, but not too mean.
Oh! I'm like, now he's monitoring our language.
Right?
He's monitoring our language.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Right.
Here's
So
what you can say. Oh,
yeah,
here's what you can do, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Shove it up your ass.
One thing we could all do is get a bra that fits properly because Third Love has a Fit Finder quiz that lets you just answer some questions, figure out what the devil you should be wearing because
you're definitely wearing the wrong size.
You probably are.
Definitely.
And they just let you do it online, so you don't have to go in for one of those weird, awkward fittings where they like don't even know what they're doing. And you can get the perfect fit. They have 70 plus sizes, including their signature half cups. I love Third Love bra. I'll never wear anything else. And I'm super picky. I don't want to be uncomfortable. These boobies deserve to be supported and comfortable all damn day.
Yes, just cradled in the finest.
Yes, and they have lightweight, super thin memory foam cups, so they're very comfortable. And Third Love knows there's a perfect bra for everyone. So right now they're offering our listeners 15% off their first order. Go to thirdlove.com/brain now to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/brain for 15% off today. Or get some loungewear or a robe or whatever the heck.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Just treat yourself.
Whatever. But anyway, that's so I don't know. We're going to have to dive into that call and like I think for me, it's about educating him. Like how to be, you know, a better person.
Oh, yeah, but like, okay, I guess I'm not too tired of that yet. Soon I'm going to get tired of that.
I mean, the other guy,
it feels like it's already like,
I
mean, this is exactly why, you know, I feel like it's so important to say, like, it's not anybody, like a person of color's job to teach us how to be
totally
diverse, like aware of diversity issues. Like, go out and learn on your own and then be like, am I, you know, kind of like, am I doing this right sort of thing. But this is like, I understand this is like what that is.
Well, maybe we could inspire him to do the work.
Okay.
At least.
Yes, there
something.
You go. I'm just like, now I got to teach you fucking A.
Sarah, I need to hear how your final presentation was.
Oh, Suze, thanks so much for asking. It was fantastic, and I only cried once.
Aww.
But they were tears of joy.
Were you
like
crying
happiness.
at the end? Or
No, in the middle. Because that's what I do. Because so as we go through,
I do.
As we go through, like I'm so attached to this information. So it's a case presentation on a client we have, and then it's woven into our theory of change, so our theoretical orientation. So we're talking about how change happens, what the stance of the therapist is, what the foundations of the model are, and mine's all about just seeing and recognizing the human spirit, and that within everybody is the power to be what you want to be, to do what you want to do, to overcome whatever is kind of thrown your way. And the problem is not the problem; it's how we react to the problem, and it's our response to the problem that we are fully in control of. And I just was like talking about how much I believe that power exists inside all of us, and I've seen so many people overcome so many things and just resilience, and I just cried. Just here, like I just think the human spirit is so beautiful, and blah blah blah. So
wow,
and I was like, what? Everybody has that thing. If you love making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, then gosh darn it, let's make you the best peanut butter and jelly sandwich maker ever, and let's nurture that love. So, and like everybody just has to find whatever that thing is, and it really is in all of us.
Huh. I did not expect someone to complete a master's program in your field and come out with a stronger sense of the human spirit.
Right. Oh, no, but I really do. I do believe that. So it was really great. And, I kind of like made it my own. Like the model I use is called the Satir growth model, and it's based on this wonderful woman who's like the most badass female in therapy. She was like the only woman, just hold it down with all these guys, and one of the only women. And her name is Virginia Satir, and she used a lot of metaphors, and she used a lot of like visual and like physical models of stuff. And so she had this self-esteem toolkit where she had all these like metaphors, but actual objects for them, like a wisdom jar that, had the deepest understandings of like your potential inside of it, and, a compass that helps guide your way, and you would like hold it and things like that. And so I made my own little self-esteem toolkit with like this vintage train case, like little trunk, that my aunt, like just last week, she's cleaning out her house, and she's like, hey, I want to give this to you. And it's probably from like 1950 something with her initials on it. It's so beautiful, and it was the perfect size. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, this is like the people who supported me, like giving me this item that I'm going to use in there. And I used like things like the compass that I used for my, like, put in my toolbox was the compass that we used to find the location of the buried shovel or whatever it was on the challenge in Namibia, Africa.
Wow.
So I have like things from like my travels along the way, and so it's just fun. I felt like I made it my own. Long story short, nailed it.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks, Suze.
I'm
really
gosh.
excited. Yeah.
What an accomplishment.
I'm super excited.
To anybody that's ever made a goal for yourself, whether it's big or small, and then you reach it, what a feeling, huh?
Oh, yeah. But Suze, did you have anxiety towards coming up to the end, or were you just like, I'm ready, I'm done? Did you have this feeling of like, what next? What was it like for you to finish?
I did not have anxiety. I was really ready to be done, but I can understand how that would happen, where you might feel like, because it's so, you're so enveloped in it for so long, and it's your identity.
Yeah.
And I always say it's like Narnia, because you're in this world all alone, and the rest of the world keeps on ticking, and you've been in, stagnation. Yeah. So now I can understand why you would be like, now what? Who am I now?
Yeah, totally. And then did you just go straight through, or did you ever take a break in your schooling? You took
no break.
No break.
No,
okay.
No break.
Okay. See, that was the part that I was thinking, like, is it hard to go from being in that world where really your identity as a student to now something else? And how did you even manage that transition?
I think so, because I think that, when you're in grad school and I don't know if this is true for you, but I think it's common to feel like worthless kind of, because you realize how little you know and how, much there is to accomplish. And then when you're done, you're expected to now be an expert. Yeah. So that's a weird thing where you go from a total loser to then people thinking you're an authority. Oof. And that's a weird shift.
Yeah, well, I haven't experienced that yet. That's going to be weird.
Because you still feel like you're in it for now, and then when you get out, maybe you'll feel that.
Yeah. When I start, with my first client, when I'm not.
Oh, do you have imposter syndrome?
Oh, maybe a little.
Oh, that's cute. I mean, it is, because it's like the opposite of white males.
Oh my God! See, this is it. I'm like, what if I can't?
That guy that wrote to me, he thinks he's an expert, and he doesn't even.
Meanwhile, I've been in front face-to-face sessions over 500 hours already.
Wow.
Yeah. So come on.
I know you're good. Don't worry.
I'm good.
You're fine.
I'm fine.
But I can understand that feeling. I think a lot of people can relate to that. Anytime you finish a chapter of your life, I think there's a little bit of fear there.
Yeah, it's like, what next? And then, this one was kind of like I'm like, excuse me? So now that I'm coming up towards graduation, I'm starting to get a lot of emails with of job availability from my program, where they're like, this is available. I mean, I can't even with this. I won't even say what it's for, but the average jobs that come around for us at this stage right now, the job post says requirements, master's degree in either clinical social work, clinical therapy, or that's it really.
Yeah.
Must have over a year of experience with supervised da-da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the pay is?
What?
$16 an hour. I was like,
Shut
are you
up.
kidding me?
Shut
Are you?
up.
I couldn't. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And by the way, I'm
that's
just going to
Starbucks.
say, there's nothing wrong with making $16 an
Right.
hour. What's shocking to me is how much they require of you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you understand that what you're asking is of somebody who just stepped out of a master's program, which means they absolutely have debt, like that they have to start paying right this second. And you think $16 an hour is going to take care of the $500 a month that I'm already sending out the door just to pay for the school that you're demanding I have for this job?
Do you think that it's because you are in a female-dominated field?
I don't know, but I made more when I worked at a beauty supply store. I'm not kidding. Beauty
That is
supply
sick.
with no requirements besides, will you not steal from us? Can you count money?
Sarah, that is
Great.
really tragic.
I mean, and like I said, or you said, there is nothing wrong with those. I had those jobs. That's great.
Yeah.
But you would think after frickin' 7 years between undergrad and this master's program that maybe my hourly worth would, based on the information that you're asking me to, or what the role or job you're asking me to provide, would increase a bit.
Right. That
It was
seems
like, what? Well,
insane.
So basically I paid all that money so that I can just be doing what I want to do, but not making any money for it.
Right. Like a passion project.
Yes. I'm hoping that this is an anomaly, but, excuse me?
Well, if anybody that has debt will relate to that story. And if you do have debt, then you should give Lightstream a try, because they really help people with credit card bills that keep you up at night, and those interest rates in the double digits. And Lightstream lets you be smart and pay off your credit card balances with a credit card consolidation loan. They have this super easy application online, and you can apply and get a loan from $5,000 to $100,000, and there are no fees. And they sometimes will put it into your bank as soon as the day you apply. So that's super fast. And if you want to save even more, our listeners get an additional interest rate discount from that 5.95% APR with AutoPay. But the only way to get the discount is to go to lightstream.com/braincandy, lightstream.com/braincandy. Subject to credit approval. Rate includes a 0.50 AutoPay discount. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/braincandy for more information. Oh, that is a bummer, man.
Yeah, so that did kind of
Does it take the wind out of your sails?
a little bit.
Really?
Well, I mean,
It's hard not to be offended.
That was it. I was offended.
Yeah.
I was just like, well, I don't, because I want to put a bigger, I mean, at least 25. For goodness sakes. That's basically, like, I'm trying to think of what else would cost me, about $16 for what I can get with that.
Like a movie ticket?
Yeah, so that's what I thought of first. Like,
That's
so,
sick.
like, I'm not even worth, I can't even get a pedicure with that.
Is it one of
That
those
probably
things,
takes
though,
45 minutes, so, come on.
if you took that job, though, would it be one of those things where you'd move up quickly, or?
Nope.
Okay.
I'll just say, it's for a position at a school. As a school psychiatrist. And you would think maybe we should pay those people a lot of money because, and you want to know what? Something crazy? My friend Jessie, she works in LA County, and she was part of the teacher strike and told me a whole bunch of stuff about it. And I said, so what kind of stuff were you fighting for? And she was like, well, we lowered the ratio of student to therapists from 1 to 900 to 1 to 500.
Whoa.
So this an average school therapist is responsible for 500 students and teaching, like school faculty. 500.
Wow.
At
That is
$16
really
an hour.
shocking. Really shocking.
Like that thing, that's like, whoosh, wow, our priorities are in the wrong place because that seems like a really important thing. School psychiatrist.
I was just talking about
a therapist, excuse me.
I was talking about,
I'm
my
worked up.
research with criminals.
Yeah.
And some people will say, well, you shouldn't glorify them or give them any attention. But for me, it's about prevention and what we can learn from their lives and why they went down the wrong path. And for me, one of the biggest things is about early intervention in schools because they're usually the first to see the red flags.
Yes. And wouldn't it be
so-
nice if the person was, well trained and knew how to recognize those red flags? I mean,
and we can
demanding that.
intervene
Yeah.
and hopefully prevent some sort of violence or incarceration or whatever. And it's a shame that that's where we cut corners.
I just looked at 3 other postings, and they're all at schools. $16, $17, and $17 an hour.
That's really, really disturbing to me.
Right. That does take that. Yeah, that makes me feel like it makes me feel sad for a lot of things.
Yeah. Wow. Well, my goodness. I mean, you guys do the Lord's work. What can I say?
Landon
Maybe
was
it will
like,
be
"I'll
rewarded
make
in the
the
next
money,
life."
you make the karma." That's what he always says. He's like, "Don't worry, it's fine. I'll just, do the soul sucking work, and you refill the tank."
Yeah.
With
I mean,
the,
there is something to that, but it's depressing.
Totally depressing, and I don't like it because this is because I'm in this field, obviously, but I just value mental health and the role that a therapist can play in somebody's life. Like, I don't know, so much.
Yeah.
And to be like, oh, you're, here you go.
Yeah.
$16.
Don't get any ideas about
Don't spend it all in one
compensation.
place. Yeah, right. Like,
Well,
okay.
regardless, I know all the Brainiacs are very proud of you.
Oh,
and
you guys were so supportive.
that must feel really good.
Yes, it was so sweet. And oh my gosh, my friend from school sent me the funniest thing. She said, I have to pull it up. It's real funny. She said, she just took a screenshot of this post, and it says, "In academia, we don't say I love you. We say, I found an article that made me think of you, and I think that's beautiful." I was like, it's totally true. That's exactly how I say I love you.
I mean,
I got this intervention for you.
right? We are constantly sending each other articles, too. If we didn't have this show, it'd just be that's all we would communicate via text.
And I was up real late last night because I went on sucked down a wormhole of these videos, and I was watching Vsauce, that channel on YouTube. Are you familiar with that?
I don't think I am.
Oh my gosh, it's like the explanation of everything, and it makes your brain melt because it's like so much crazy information, like brain melting. But I love it all. But what was I talking about? Now that my brain is melting about staying up really late. Oh, yes. And the only reason I didn't flood your inbox is that it was like 2:30 in the morning. Maybe 3. Maybe 3:30.
What did you learn?
Oh, my gosh. Where do I even start?
What?
So one of the things that's really interesting that I thought you would really like, and I have to go through the video again because they go so fast that I have to take note. I would have to take notes and then like research it afterwards to really be able to speak on it, in a articulate way. But you know how we always talk about why people are like have this like morbid curiosity?
Yes.
He said there's a whole bunch of different reasons for that. And the easiest way to remember it is because we all scream, which is an acronym, SCREAM, for it's because it helps us feel strong, catharsis, it tests our reality, our exploration, acceptance, and meaning.
What?
And you break down all of those, and he gives like the scientific, like the studies behind each of those of why we're attracted to this. It gives life a sense of meaning because when we see somebody else's mortality, it reminds us that there is an end, and it gives life a sense of meaning. There's acceptance because when he compared it almost to like a joke. How a joke is essentially unspoken. Understanding that both of you know the same information.
Right, okay.
So a joke's only funny if both people understand why it's funny. They have the same knowledge base. So that, like somebody else, like morbid curiosity is okay because kind of we're all like that. And it makes us feel like accepted of like, oh, everybody else likes this. And then we almost like test it, like with other people. And it's an exploration of like seeking, and how humans have this natural, and all animals have this drive in us to be curious and to seek out things, and it gives us dopamine when we do that. So we become really like, not really addicted, but like our brain loves like going out and being curious and seeking new things, and this is a form of that. And then it's like a cathartic release because if you look at all the movies, like some of the top-ranking movies and like their on-screen like death tolls, the popular movies have really high ones of those, and they say that it's like letting out a little bit of air in the balloon so that it doesn't all explode. Like it gives us a little bit of a cathartic release when we're like, terrified, and then like, or whatever it is. When we have that sense of fear, it satisfies that emotion for us, and it like releases some feelings for us so they don't build up. It's
really interesting.
Yes, and it's like a strength of character thing. It like tests, like once we see, so there was a study done where this really fucked up scientist in like the early 1900s scared the crap out of people, and then afterwards tested like a bunch of stuff and like their like strengths and resilience afterwards, and it turns out people thought they were stronger and like were stronger after they had been terrified.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, because it's like it's somewhere deep in your like, I don't know, psyche or subconscious, it says to you that, well, I survived that. I looked at that and I'm still alive. I'm still good. I'm still here. And so it gives us this sense of like strength of like, oh, I could accomplish whatever.
Right.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And like I said, I could go into a bit more detail if I'm giving you like none of the juice to this. This is definitely Cliff's Notes on this, but
it's really interesting. Yeah. And I know I've talked to a lot of people about like the true crime fascination, and even people that really love true crime, there's part of them that's sort of like, but why do I love it?
Yeah.
They're kind of creeped out by their own interest in it, so that's a helpful explanation for it.
Then the whole video does talk about that. I can even post that link in the
yeah, why are you holding back, man?
I told you I was going to send them all to you last night. For goodness sakes, but it's 2 a.m.
Don't yell at me, Sarah.
I won't. I'm glad I remembered something.
If you're going to remember something, you ought to remember Noom, because Noom is a great program that helps people reach their goals, get healthier habits. If you want to lose weight, they'll help you with that.
Oh, I've heard all about this. I've heard it's great.
I know. People are loving it. I keep getting messages saying they tried it and they really agree with me that it's helpful for reminders about self-care, which has become like this gross word that people overuse, but it's actually a thing we should be paying attention to.
Yes.
And just health and weight loss and well-being. And it just helps you keep your life together, which is something we all need. It's like a little life coach in your pocket. Yes. And Noom is an app you can download and check out their program. They'll give you, you can take a quick quiz and find out their tips for how to implement their strategies. And it'll give you reminders and a community that will help you as well and encourage you. And I feel like a lot of us are missing communities because we're all sort of isolated more now.
Or on the go.
Yeah.
How can you be in a community if you're never in one place for more than an hour?
Right.
I mean, or like busy.
Yeah, it's something that's really missing from our lives. So this could be something that really helps you with that. You don't have to change it all in one day. Small steps make big progress. Yes. Sign up for your trial today at Noom. That's that's NOOM.com/braincandy. Again, that is Noom, NOOM.com/braincandy. What do you have to lose? Visit Noom.com/braincandy to start your trial today. Noom.com/braincandy, the last weight loss program you'll need.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I love a good sense of community.
Me too. I'm like seeking it out now. It's good for the soul.
Yeah, it's so important.
Yeah,
I told you that the health at 80 is best determined by your social network at 50.
No way.
Yes. Oh my gosh. See, this is one of those things I've definitely talked about on here and then you forgot, so I get to talk about it again and you're just as excited.
I definitely didn't remember the age part. I remembered,
or maybe I've just talked about this with enough clients that now it feels like I've said it on here. It's one of those.
I'm kind of like one of your clients.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting paid the same. It's $0.
Right. I'll give you $16.
Yeah. Right. At least
funny.
for that, I'm kidding. So, but that was there were a lot of studies done on, I found this out in my life cycles and aging class. And so they look at like, what can we look at that will help determine or that points to like, or what is it basically? What is the one thing? If we could like point to one thing.
It's for wellness.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the biggest predictor.
I find, maybe you can say whether you agree with this theory or not. I was noticing that the shows on TV that I enjoy watching for escape, for example, Cheers, Friends, Golden Girls.
Oh my gosh, good point.
Those are all shows that aren't about, biological families, but they're about families that are made up of friends.
Yes.
And I think that maybe everyone is drawn to that, but I think people that don't have a strong family life are even maybe more drawn to those.
Absolutely. I totally agree with this.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. And the sad thing is, when we think that we're getting the same satisfaction of watching them as we would participating in that friend group. It's kind of like the virtual hug versus the real hug that I still stand by my position on.
Right. Well, I definitely don't think it could be an adequate substitute for a real community, but I do think that if you have nothing else, it can be soothing and helpful.
And you know what? So
like that.
say that that's your like. How can you use that to then create some sort of connection?
Yeah.
So maybe talk to somebody about how much you love Friends, and then you guys can be friends, and then
for sure.
strengthen your own social network. Because I'll ask people all the time, like, what is when people are like isolating themselves or want to just kind of do that, and I'm there. I'm right there with them all the time. I say, like, what's your happiest moment? What moment, like, do you remember bringing you the most joy? Nobody has ever said anything where they're alone.
Really?
I've never, ever had that response. Not once. Not one. I'm like, hand to God. And I've probably asked this question over 100 times.
Okay. Do you think that is because we are primed to only think of the, certain types of things as the happiest? Or do you think it's just the truth?
I think it's the truth.
Really?
I know it is.
Because I would have thought some introverts genuinely would have felt blissful in moments of alone time.
You can feel blissful, but it's kind of like you can't tickle yourself. I feel like that. It's
you
like
have the
you
best
can't.
metaphors.
You can't. Yeah, see, I started with my metaphors, like why metaphors are important, and there you go. So I really think that there are certain, or like you can scratch your own arm, even like rub your own arm, and yes, it does feel good to do that in like a nurturing way. But how good does it feel when somebody else does that? There is an undeniable power to human connection, and the simplest way to understand it is what happens when we don't have it. That those babies who like were born in where was it? I mean, probably happened all over the place, but basically like put in isolation and didn't have any like human contact when they're, like orphanages way back when, will die. And not just like, you can give them their basic needs. It's the monkey. It's the wire monkey, Harlow study.
Yeah.
And the monkey will choose the cloth, wire monkey wrapped in cloth over the wire monkey with no cloth and food.
Right.
Until he is so, until he can't survive.
Right.
Because that is a biological need for closeness, for comfort, for connection.
Dang.
Yep.
You've really been proselytizing human touch lately.
Oh, yeah, it is important.
It is. I was thinking about that last night when I was snuggling Lincoln. I'm like, this counts as one of my hugs that Sarah says I need.
That's right. 4, 8, 12. That's what we need. 4 for survival, 8 for
I started counting. I was like, did I
and-
get 12?
Oh, that's
I
so
hope I got
cute.
12. No, it's helpful.
And you know what's great? All the girls at my clinic do it to me too. They like give me a hug and they'll be like, "What's the number for the day? Does that adds to the list?"
Do you actually track it?
No, I don't at all.
Okay,
but
okay.
everybody just knows that I like eat, sleep, and breathe this theory, and so
Wait.
they're always like,
Can we count hugs with pets?
"Oh, I think so."
Okay.
I think
so too.
they can't be a replacement because there's something about getting that feedback.
Yeah.
And, but they're so wonderful. And, we know this because when you pet a dog, it releases oxytocin in your brain. Your brain is like, yeah, give me that when we hug
Right.
somebody. So don't take my word for it. Just look at what's happening in your brain.
Yeah. All right.
Science, people.
By the way, people, Sarah knows this, but I should tell you guys that because Lincoln has had really good behavior for a consistent period of time, he earned himself a cat.
Yay!
So we're getting a cat, and we've already decided what we're going to name the cat, even though we don't have it yet.
I love that. Can you tell us?
We're naming it, Mr. Meowgie.
Oh my God. This is the best cat name.
Lincoln goes, it's a karate cat.
Oh my God. Who said that? Lincoln or you?
Lincoln.
Stop it. He's hilarious. His puns are so good.
Yeah, he's getting really good at puns.
And my favorite part is your distaste for puns. And how he has latched onto this as his favorite form of humor. You could have gotten the knock-knock jokes, so consider yourself lucky.
Yeah, right. But Mr. Meowgie, that's a pun that I can get behind.
That is genius.
Thanks. That was Adam's idea.
Oh.
So I'll introduce him on social whenever he's actually living in our house.
Oh, my God, I'm so excited.
Me too. That's why I asked about pets, because I feel like maybe snuggling them will be good for us over here, too.
So good. Oh, my God,
Okay.
Get ready. You're going to just have a love fest at your house. So
Maybe, what if I become a whole new
day.
person, and I'm like
Probably
not
will.
cynical, just like super happy, optimistic?
Yes.
It's possible.
Or you just become like a cat. or it just double down.
Oh my God, right? It could go either way.
And then start pushing things off the edge of tables.
It's staring at people whilst I do it.
I saw this hilarious meme or something that was like, you know how we know the Earth's not flat? Because if it were, cats would be pushing everything off the edge.
That's hilarious.
I thought so too. I was like, they do that.
You know, I know we already talked about that Flat Earth Society, but I think it bears repeating. Like, do you know any more about what is driving this weird movement?
Bad science. And people who latch on to it's so dumb.
What could possibly be the motivation for people to adopt this bizarre philosophy? They cannot really believe it. Do we have any brainiacs that are flat earthers? Because
there's
would really
no
love to talk
chance.
I really want to talk to them.
There's no way. I do too. I mean, I gotta know.
Maybe
Did
we
you
should
see
put
there
out
was
a
a
thing.
there was a picture, whether it was on Instagram or Twitter, I don't know, of this girl. She's probably in college. She's laying on a beach, and she says some comment about flat Earth.
Yeah.
What was going on with that?
So she's a conservative, I don't know what you'd call her. She's just viral.
Yeah.
They call her the Kent State gun girl because she open carries a gun all the time and takes pictures with it, trying to be
sexy. She's a white girl and she could do that.
Yeah.
Check your privilege.
Yeah, she now is promoting this flat Earth ideology, and I quote tweeted it and it was like, "Can someone get this person a library card?"
Yes.
It drives me crazy.
Well, and it's so funny you say this because this is what started my deep dive last night. Into
Why?
everything. Because when I was on, I don't know, I was on Instagram or something, a Vsauce video, that video channel I was talking about, there was a video saying, is flat Earth possible? Is a flat Earth
Oh boy.
possible or something like that? So I wasn't sure. I was like, wait a sec. Are they going to give me some weird science that tells me why people should believe this? So of course I was fascinated and I click it. And then of course it explains all the science behind why that's not possible. For example, every single object over a certain size in space is round. You know why?
Course.
Because with gravity, if it were flat, it would collapse in on itself. And it naturally forms a ball.
Yeah, but see, facts are not
Right.
strong.
And they go through so many. There's a million facts why. So then I saw this video and then I had to click on every single one in the bottom below. And then I ended up hours later and I've watched 20 of these 13-minute videos. So full circle,
I feel
man.
Whenever I hear about the flat Earth thing, it just makes me feel like I normally feel when I speak to my mom because she's not a flat earther, but she might as well be because pretty much everything she believes is wrong. And I'm always exhausted when I'm done talking to her because I get so tired of explaining basic stuff that we all just accept as true. Because whatever, that's her thing. She's just the opposite. And so it can feel like, I don't know what's the word. Just exhausting. That's all. Everyone can relate. Anyone that talks to their mom.
Yeah, and it's really the opposite of what you and I have, where we have this curiosity and this desire to learn more.
Yeah.
They're totally okay, with not.
Yep, they're good. They're tapped out on information.
Really not even in the quest for it. And that is the thing I don't understand.
Somebody referred to this period in time of history as the Endarkenment.
Oh, gosh.
I know. And I was like, that is exactly how it feels, that we're at the opposite stage of the Enlightenment where people are just denying truth, and it's crazy.
Oh, and then I think maybe... there's this desire to kind of, if it's moving forward, if ideas or whatever are moving forward too fast, then maybe there's this natural incline to push back, like a pendulum, something like that, where usually it goes really far in one direction And then it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then it goes really far in the other direction. The feminist movement kind of flows like that.
For sure.
And I think maybe, it's scary to think that science would be the same when it's so fact-based. I mean, that's the whole nature of it. It's science because of that.
Remember when you cried because you love the human spirit, and then I convinced you that humans are the worst during an episode?
But inside of them is the potential. I just have to find it.
All right. On that note, let's wrap this party up.
All right.
It's always a pleasure, Sarah.
Oh, always. And all you too, Brainiacs. With you too, Brainiacs.
Leave us a 5-star review, subscribe, do all that stuff that we love. We love you guys.
Yay, bye.
Bye. This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.